Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good afternoon. It is Friday and it's the last day of June 2023. Welcome in, everyone. Welcome in. Come on in and join us. Come on in and join us in here. We are on another Lunch and Learn on this Friday. We are on another Lunch and Learn on this Friday. This is where we meet on Fridays to share with you on different topics of interest that we believe will help you to learn and to grow. It's all about learning and growing. So come on in, everyone. Come on in. And as you come on in, please let us know where you are joining us from. If you are joining us from across the United States, go ahead and drop in your city or your state. If you're joining us from across the Caribbean, please go ahead and drop in your country or even your city. We welcome you into this live stream. We are talking today about the inner and outer circle relationships. And this is such a potent topic as we go into the weekend. And we want to share with you, and joining me today, as usual, are two of my favorite persons. There is with me Dr. Marcia Powell, and she is a Christian leadership coach and consultant. And also with me is Dr. Sigfred Howell, a master life coach, life happiness, and relationship consultant. And as usual, yours truly, Dr. Janice Brooks, your life strategist, part of the Maxwell team of leadership coaches and trainers, and a certified temperament counselor. And we are here to provide you with as much value as possible to help you to grow your life. The inner and outer circle relationships. And as we look at this topic today, I want to take this a little further and add to this topic the power of the circles. The power of the circles, because these two circles are indeed so powerful. And if you don't know how to navigate these two circles, you are in trouble. And that's why we are here with you today, because we want to help you to navigate these two different circles as you grow in life. You have to be able to get through these two different circles in a way that will help your life to become better. And when we talk about the power of the circles, everything in life can be given power. And they can get power through our choices and through our thought process. There is always power to advance and there is power to retreat, meaning that we can, by our own choices and our own thoughts, make progress or stay stagnant or even go backwards. So the question is, what are the similarities and differences between your inner circle and your outer circle? And this is such an important question because we need to know what are the similarities between these two. And I'm going to ask Dr. Marcia and Dr. Howell to add their voices. But it is largely believed that the people closest to us are our inner circle, such as our family and our friends. But yet many people in these two spaces, our family and our friends, are not in our inner circle because they do not possess the characteristics like the values and the goals and the desires and the dreams that we share to be in our inner circle. So when we think that family and friends must always be in the inner circle, we have that wrong. And this is where we sometimes misconstrue the facts from the truth. So I want to say simply that the inner circle are people who love and support you. They tell you the truth. No backstabbing, no greed, no envy, no judgment. Considering these, if you have a very large inner circle, you may need to check some of the criterias for the circles again. Dr. Marcia, add your voice to what I just said.
Well, I don't know if there is much to add, but research has shown that an ideal number of persons that must be in your inner circle is 5, because the smaller your inner circle, the clearer your vision. There is not, success does not equal numbers, it equals loyalty. And so in your inner circle, you have persons who are very loyal to you, who care about you, who take you as you come, who is there for you in thick and thin, those who you can call on suddenly in the middle of the night, and they are there. And as you said before, they don't have to be family, because there are friends that stick closer than a brother. And the Bible itself explains that there are friends who stick closer than a brother, and there are persons who will make more sacrifices for you many times than family members. And so those persons will be tucked into your inner circle. I want to introduce, though, a middle circle. There is a middle circle that we tend to ignore, and that middle circle includes the persons that we have at our workplaces, that we say hi to, that we gripe about things in our workplaces, but they might not be persons who we share our deepest griefs and burdens with. We may have lunch with them. They are our support group at work, but they are still not a part of our inner circle. And then there is the outer circle, which have similarities of the inner circle, because the outer circle has persons that are your acquaintances, that you would maybe stand with and speak about the everyday things of life, persons who you would say hi to, persons who you would say, how are you doing? Very pleasant and very cordial too, but they are not a part of your inner circle. But in your inner circle, there are persons who you will say the same thing to. The thing about the outer circle is that the outer circle can generate relationships that become a part now, transferred, pass through your middle circle, and become a part of your inner circle.
Wow. Thank you, Dr. Marcia. That is indeed something to hold on to. Ladies and gentlemen, please, if you're joining us, we want to welcome you on to this, our Lunch and Learn session. We are talking about understanding the inner and the outer circle relationships. And we just looked at the question, what are the similarities or differences between these two circles? And Dr. Howell is going to share with us his point of view on this topic.
I'd like to say hi to everyone out there. You all covered most of that stuff very wonderfully, but I want to share something with you that a lot of people also take for granted. If you take both of those circles and you add one more circle to them, then you can actually have what is called your core circle, your circle of influence, and then the circle outside of your influence or control. So your inner circle is now you. It's now your mindset. It is now what your perspective, your attitude, your emotional intelligence, all that stuff. And that's the only thing that you actually can control in this life. Everything outside of your personal body becomes either a circle of influence, meaning that you have the ability to portray some level of influence on them. So whether they're family members or co-workers or people close by, you can influence them. But then we also have to remember that there are persons outside of our control. So some of our employees or colleagues that are not really friends, they're more like acquaintances, then they are going to be outside of our control. But some of them can make it into the circle of control. And so if you look at those three circles, a lot of times people overstep and want to control others. But if someone is outside of you, you only have a level of influence, not a level of control. And so a lot of times we mix those up. And so I just wanted to throw one more circle in there so that we could think about.
Wow. Powerful indeed, Dr. Howell. The core, the influence, and the control. That those are words to hold on to. But as we advance into this lunch and learn session today, I want to think of why is the inner circle. So I'm looking only at the inner circle at this time. Why is the inner circle important? And I say that the inner circle is important really because it is in this space that we really get to open up ourselves and be our authentic self. We can be vulnerable. We can cry. We can laugh. We can be free to become everything that we were created to be inside of this inner circle. And it is that this circle that we are also held accountable, yet we are liberated, where we can share our own perspective and they are corrected in love, not with judgment. And I think of this inner circle as a house. You come in through the front door and you end up in your living room or sometimes even in your great room. And then you may branch off into the kitchen. You go straight to the balcony or even into your study. Then there is the children's room and there is your bedroom. Which rooms are your friends allowed in? Ask yourself that question. Because everyone might be invited into the kitchen, very well so, into the dining room for a cup of coffee, tea, a snack. But who can come in your office and speak into your career? Who can sit in your children's playroom and speak into their lives? Who can stand in your bedroom, the depth of your happiness? This is the depth of even your deepest longings. Who can come into that room where you are believing for things to change in your life? Who would you invite into that room? And this is where I say, herein lies the importance of the inner circle. Who can come into that inner room? Dr. Marcia, add your voice to that.
I believe that your inner circle is your advisory board. Now, the inner circle, life is made up of circles, as Dr. Howell has said, or core, or inner, middle, or outer. But the inner circle is the circle that is closest to you, your dreams, your aspirations, the sum total of who you are is embedded in the inner circle. And I like the analogy with the house because in that space, the inner circle are the ones that, the persons in your inner circle are the ones that have the most influence on you, your motivation, your understanding of being your best self, your outreach, and your in-reach. They are the ones who connect the disconnection. They are the ones who help you to be calm and compose you when life throws you curveballs and you're ready to give up. They are the ones who are the wind beneath your wings. Those are the persons that are in your inner circle. And how do you know when someone is rooting for you? That is a serious question, because if you can answer that question comfortably, without any doubt, then your inner circle is very secure and intact. Who is this person that will sacrifice for me? If you can answer that question very comfortably, then you have a strong inner circle. Who is the person that can put up with me with all my deficiencies, with all my personality traits, with all my mood swings? Who is that person who will not let me go no matter what I am in, good or bad? Who is that person? If or persons, if you can answer that question, then you have a very strong inner circle.
Thank you so much for that, Dr. Marcia. And I'm seeing persons watching and using up the chat. Thank you so much for joining us. And we do ask you, drop where you're joining us from. Mrs. Francis O'Brien is joining us on Facebook, and she said, like Jesus, the inner circle are those that are trusted. Wade Wilson is shouting hello to us. And Mrs. O'Brien said, not in the bedroom. Dr. Howell, add your voice to that. That question that we just talked about a minute ago. Why is this inner circle so important?
Well, let me say to you, first of all, I love that analogy. And it brings to mind the fact that before people get to your bedroom, or before people get to your kid's bedroom, you need to know what you need from people, because you might be allowing the wrong type of people into your house. And so the first thing that you need to do is to evaluate yourself, evaluate your goals, your values, your dreams, your visions, and decide what people can best mesh with you to help you and encourage you and motivate you to get to your desired goal. Now, to me also, once you figure that out, then you can actually start the process of identifying the people or identifying the resources that you need in order to get to where you need to get to. And so, for example, you can seek organizations, you can seek groups. Facebook has chat rooms. You can go to LinkedIn and connect with people with similar careers. You can attend seminars, workshops, and conferences, and strike up conversations with people to find people who are similar to you and to get people into that inner circle. Now, most definitely, people will have to start out in the outer circle before they can get to the inner circle. But like Dr. Powell said, you need to make sure that you have the right people in your circle, and they have to be trustworthy. And I think trust needs to be earned, because everybody, even with Jesus, he had one disciple that he had with him that totally turned against him. And, so Judas turned against him. So we have to be very careful as to the number of people we let into our circles, whether it's the outer circle or the inner circle, because they influence our decisions. They can influence our moods. They can influence our attitudes and influence our outcome in life.
And that is why I say, Dr. Howell, that it is more than a heart connection. I embrace that, because we have to test. I believe that we must do the inner circle test, because an inner circle is not built naturally. It is an intentional circle that develops and emerges over time. When you have cemented those persons in your inner circle, they do not necessarily move along either. They become like concrete. So even if they are not immediately in your space, you can call on them if they are at Timbuktu, because they make it possible to help you. Distance is not an issue. And so we want to get that out. There are also family members that, as the young lady said, or Mrs. Ashley or whoever it was said on the thing, that will never enter your bedroom, although they are family members, because they are not family members that you can trust. It's not automatic that your family members become a part of your inner circle, because there are differences in family that can be stark. There are different persons take different parts. There is a saying that says 7 brothers, 7 different minds. You have to understand, and even in our families, some of us, we might confide in our father because he's a little calmer, he's less judgmental and so on, than our mother, who immediately gets flustered and distressed if you share certain things. So even in our homes, we decide who we will confide in, even at the parent level, because of their responses. And those are some of the things that gauge our inner circle. And those are some of the things that we look at when we are doing our inner circle test.
That is correct. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us on the different medias, go ahead and continue to drop your questions and your comments. We will be taking them closer to the end. We thank you so much for joining us. We are sharing on the inner and outer circle relationship. This is a powerful topic, because we have to be so careful how we choose, or even how people choose us to be in these type of relationships. And I want to kind of consider, what are the ways that the inner circle is crucial to our success? And when I think about success, I I think that success is uh, like a set of actions as much as it is also a specific type of mindset. And the knowledge that we have of what to do and to do it at the right time with strength and with determination and with the will and a desire to win, that is what success amounts to. And when I think about why is the inner circle crucial for our success, the first story, I shared this already, because this story always comes to my mind. And this is a story that I chose from Exodus 17, when Joshua was fighting a battle that his army appeared to be losing. But in a moment, the main man in his inner circle, who was Moses, received divine wisdom to hold up his hand. And the Bible said that when Moses' hand was held up, Israel prevailed. And then we know that your hand cannot be up for a very long time, especially if you're old. And we know that Moses' hand became tired and he had to bring down his hand. And the enemy started to advance, and it seems that they were prevailing. But then Aaron and Hur, two others of the inner circle, came and they held Moses' hand up. While his hand was up, this is what I love, the Israel prevailed, and Joshua and his army could only win if Moses' hand was kept raised. And so we need people in our inner circle who are critical to our success. This is such a wonderful picture of success using both friendship and the right inner circle. They help you to be successful, like Moses and Hur and Aaron helped Joshua and that army to be successful. They work alongside you. They share your ideas, the information, the knowledge. They guide you. They help you to gain understanding of the path that you're on. In other words, they help you to win. So if you want to be successful, there are some people that you have to choose not to be in the circle now. You have to choose to close the door against them. Jesus did that several times. He closed the door against several people when he was doing a miracle. We saw Elijah, he did that many times when he was doing miracles. So we have to learn to close the door against several people if we want to walk in the space of success and eventually becoming significant. We have to close the door against those persons who are saying that they're our advocates, but they are just devilish advocates. They are always about their own egos and their own point of views. Then there are those people who are the backstabbers. There are people sometimes in your inner circle, but they are backstabbers behind your back. They are saying something different about you. Then we talk about the people in our inner circle who are like doomsday prophets. They see all the roadblocks. They see a long list of things that can happen, problems. They never see a solution. We have to make sure that on our road to success, we make sure we close the door on those persons so that they don't hinder our progress. And so, Dr. Marcia, I want to come back around to you right now. And I want to ask you this question. I know we are coming close to the end of our session. How can we actually know who is in our corner?
That is so important. You have some persons who are very dead weight. Who do I call those dead weights? I have another name for them. They are called skillful hypocrites. These are the persons who are afraid to tell you the truth, but they are in your inner corner, and they are saving and preventing you from hurt and pain and distress if they do not tell you the truth. But the truth in itself sometimes come out. So those persons are skillful in themselves because they become subject to the length or the progress of their minds. They would not want anyone to tell them the truth, and so they don't tell others the truth. And there are those who laugh with you and smile with you, even when they need to cry with you. So they need to cry with you, but they are smiling with you when they ought to be crying with you. Those are persons that you really don't want to have. Who do you want in your corner? Who do you know are in your corner? Those persons who do not get upset if you don't take their advice, but they stand beside you even when you don't take their advice. Those persons have to be treasures, because everybody wants you. If you're they are giving you good, they are in your corner. Call on them. Always call on them. Always call on them. They do not have an excuse to help you. They don't say they have helped you over and over. They don't say what again. They are not those types of persons. And then you have those people who believe in your potential, and they are pushing you to be greater than, or to do something much bigger than yourself, because they see in you what you really don't see in yourself. So you seem to be ordinary, but they see extraordinary things in you. And then their persons that you know are in your corner are persons who are very practical and real. Life is real, and they make you face life real. They are not unrealistic, and they do not place heavy expectations on you. However, they make you know that things are possible. This is another way that you can do it. Don't give up. Keep going. I have your back. And they literally have your back, and metaphorically have your back. They challenge you lovingly. Lovingly. They do not criticize you when you fail. They stand with you and cheer you on, even when you are not at the top. They share what they believe in you and what they believe about you. Some of them even prophesy over you. Some of them, they recognize what is inside you and they pull it out. And these persons also are there in the ways that propel you forward and to do the right thing. They understand your vision and they make it their own. They understand your mistakes. They understand that you're human, and they understand that your purpose is embedded in particular assignments, and they help to create the environment to make you feel comfortable, to make you be authentic. And so what I am really saying in all of that is that you know persons are with you when you are vulnerable and yet valuable.
Wow. Dr. Marcia, thank you so much for that. There's so much meat in what you have just said. Dr. Howell, so as we come to a close of this session today, how do we build? I listened to everything that Dr. Marcia said. How do we build this kind of, how do we build this kind of circle? What are the benefits that are there from having this strong inner circle?
Well, Dr. Powell, she mentioned all of those already. So I'm going to backtrack just a little bit. Remember we said that you identify what pathway you want to take. Well, even in everyone's personality, regardless of how strong you are as a personality, everyone has flaws and blind spots. So one of the first things you need to do is to find people who will fill those blind spots, those areas of weaknesses, and make sure that those people are loyal to you. You want people who will not pull you down because you have a weakness, but they will look out for those imposters that are trying to come your way and attack you using your blind spots. So that's the first thing. You also need a teacher. A teacher is the one who gives you information that you need in order to move forward. You need a mentor, someone who will guide you, because sometimes we know what we need to do, but we don't know how to do it. So a mentor will guide you through that process. Sometimes you need a shoulder to cry on. And so you need a person in your inner circle, like Dr. Powell said, that would be there to cry with you, not laughing at you when you're crying, but to cry with you, to laugh when you are in a moment of joy and of success. But when you're crying and down and weak, you need someone there to give you a shoulder to cry with you. You also need a cheerleader, someone who would, would laugh and just be excited with you when you reach those milestones and you get those successes. And when you feel like giving up, you need someone who will say, you just got this not too long ago, so let's keep moving forward. You have this, you're not too far away from the next checkpoint. And then you need a taskmaster, someone who's there to make you get up from your lazy self and keep going. Someone who believes in you and is willing to push you forward when you feel like taking a nap, when you feel like giving up, when you feel like, oh man, I am spent, I cannot go any further. And so those are the people that we need on our team. So what do they provide? They provide emotional support and understanding. They provide enhanced motivation, inspiration, and personal growth. They provide access to knowledge, resources, and opportunities. They increase our accountability and the encouragement to achieve our goals. They provide networking opportunities and connections for personal and professional advancement, and a sense of belonging, community, and shared values. And so those people are the ones that will give you the most benefit. If you can take the people that Dr. Marcia was talking about and you check them based on my little check sheet right here, then you will be able to make sure that your inner circle has everything that you need. And then, like Dr. Janice was saying, they can go to their various positions in your home where they can offer the most support.
Very much
Wow.
so.
That is such a great last point, Dr. Howell. Dr. Marcia, what would be your final takeaway for the audience from this inner circle and outer circle relationship that we're talking about here today?
My final takeaway would have to be the persons that are in your inner circle. I believe that you must have your builders, as Dr. Howell has said, your connectors, your boosters, your mentors, and you must have companions. If we look in God's inner circle, which was the group of his disciples, he understood all of who he had there and how he would put them in the compartments that you have listed above. He knew who would be in his kitchen and who would be in. And we know that John and Peter were actually the persons that were in his bedroom, so much so that when he was crucified, he gave John the keep and care of his mother. And he built his church upon Peter and the conviction and the inner core value that he had. So he had those persons that were flanking him. So in our inner circle, we want all of those persons. And as we evolve and grow and develop, and have them grow, develop, and mature with us, and have them increase their loyalty because they're on the same mission as us, we must make sure that those who have us in their inner circle can have that 110% reliance, commitment, and loyalty. We are able to make the same sacrifices that we expect the persons from our inner circle to make. It is a mutual engagement, it is a mutual accountability, and it is a mutual influence, and it is a mutual significance.
Wow. This has been really a thoughtful session here today. I have taken away so much things from this session. I'm speaking, but I'm learning, and that is what is important. We are talking, but we are actually learning because it's about learning and growing. We want to thank you for really coming in here and staying with us today. And as we close, I want to say to everyone who is listening, whether you're listening live or you will see the replay, I want to say to you, choose your inner circle wisely. Or if you are chosen by your inner circle, then I want you to remember these words. When you walk with the wise, you become wise. And the wise man always questions himself. He looks inside of himself. But the fool questions others, always seeing the imperfections in them. So keep the people who ask you the questions and get you to think. They share your lessons and they do things differently and they offer to help you if there is a problem. Don't forget, get rid of the people who always think that an idea is not going to work. The people who are like a weatherman in the hurricane season, they are always ready to forecast the doom and the gloom based solely on their own experiences. As iron sharpened iron, so one person sharpened the other. So be careful to choose your inner circle wisely. Dr. Howell talked about a group. Dr. Marcia talked about a group. The mentor is who I put at the top of my group right here. Somebody who will mentor you. Then there's the coach. Then there is a leader who you can look at their example and they will also help to guide you. Don't forget your prayer partner, somebody who will pray with you and pray for you. And always have a spiritual guide to help you along the journey. And I don't want you to forget your lawyer, your doctor, your accountant. Those should be your inner circle as well. Choose your inner circle wisely, ladies and gentlemen. And I want to thank you so much again for joining us. Dr. Marcia Thomas, Christian leadership coach and consultant. Dr. Siegfried Howell, master life coach, life happiness and relationship consultant. And again, yours truly, Dr. Janice Brooks, life strategist, leadership consultant and trainer. We want to say thank you so much for joining us for this another Lunch and Learn session. Don't forget to join us again next Friday at the same time, 1 p.m. Eastern, when we are here again for another session. We will discuss another topic that we believe should be of interest to the audience, because our thrust is to help persons to learn and to grow. And Tuesday mornings at 7:45 a.m., we host our audio live event right on LinkedIn, where we share again on different topics that we help people to learn and to grow. It's all about that. Growth is a constant process, and whenever you stop growing, it means that you're dying. Once again, thank you, thank you, thank you, and have a beautiful weekend. If you're joining us from across the United States, may you have a wonderful 4th of July coming up on Tuesday. If you're across the Caribbean, push along and work your week through and keep it going. God bless you, and you take very good care. We're ending our broadcast at this time.